What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Offroad Outlaws. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys sort of the basics to tuning a rig, so that way you can understand how to tune your rig for crawling, how to tune it for racing and Baja racing and all kinds of stuff like that. So let's see, we're just going to go to my garage and we're going to try and find just a random vehicle that I'm not really too worried about changing up. So let's go ahead and find a vehicle in here to use. Okay, so I think I found it. We're gonna go ahead and take out this Ford. Okay, now as you can tell, this Ford is sort of meant for racing. I have no clue how fast it is, but I do have another one in front of me. Let me go ahead and show you this one. I have a blue Ford and a red Ford. Crips and Bloods? No, not really. Let's go back to the red Ford. Okay, so I have no clue which one's faster. I believe this red one might be, but I'm not too sure. But we're not here to build a drag car or a drag truck. We're actually going to turn this thing into a rock crawler. So let's go ahead and go to customize. We're going to go to tires, press the back arrow once, go to rear, press the back arrow once, back out, apply. Okay guys, now the only reason why I didn't go and buy a brand new vehicle and start fresh from that one is because if you look at my money, I don't really have much right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and change, something else up. We're going to take all this trophy off of it. We're going to go to Solid Axle Pro, front and rear. See if we can just max everything out. Okay, so basically what you want for rock crawling, if you want the best rock crawler possible, always make sure your travel is up as high as possible, both front and rear. Now there is the physics in this game make it to where the lower you are to the ground, the more you'll stick to the ground. It's kind of hard to explain. So basically, if I left it like this, with how much stiffness it has, it's not going to want to rock crawl good. It's going to want to flip backwards all the time and all that. So before we change any of the stiffness up, we're going to go ahead and go to tires. And we're going to make the tires as big as possible, both front and rear, with wheel radius. Nothing else we're gonna change. So let's go back to tune suspension. We're gonna go ahead and change the axis width. We don't want it out all the way, because then that just makes it a little too hard to maneuver through things because it's too wide. So let's go ahead and move it in about like right there. We're at 0.08 with the top of the gear between the D and the T. Let's go to the rear, 0.08 between the D and the T. Just perfect. Kind of looks like the front and rear tires are both different. Okay, so we're gonna go to stiffness, and I believe we are on the rear. And basically, you see how tall this thing is, right? It's definitely gonna flip over with how it's sitting. And anything in the stiffness below 5,000 will pretty much get you crawling over anything without flipping. But it doesn't give you much travel or much flexing capability to work with. That doesn't mean that you don't have a lot of flex, it just makes it harder to get over things because it's so low to the ground, stuff gets in the way. I don't know how to explain it. Let's go back to stiffness. Let's lower this, lower the front. Basically what I do with all my builds is I try to get them perfectly even. From the bottom, I try to get it level. Let's go ahead and change axle type and brake type because I want them as small as possible so that way you don't get hung up on anything. And then we're gonna go to dampening. So basically for rock crawling, you want your front to, you want your rear dampening rate to be faster. So you want your rear end to move faster. So say you fly into the air, you want your rear end to go down as fast as possible to keep the rear end on the ground. And then the front, you want it to where it doesn't go down as fast as possible. You want it really slow and sluggish so that way your front end will always stay on the ground when you're rock crawling. So let's go ahead and put dampening on the rear, around 4,800. Let's go to the front. Dampening, we're going to put it around 6,700. Now I'm not too sure if shocks really play a difference in this game, but I mean in real life these shocks do play a difference, but I have no clue. So I'm going to just go ahead and just change this stuff up. Shock size all the way. Okay, so let's go to gear tuning. Now I'm gonna check out the gears in this, see what they're set up at. Yeah, all these gears are sort of set up to race, but I'm setting this up to be a crawler. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my low gear to 4.0. That's all I'm going to do. So now let's go ahead and go to the rock park. Okay guys, so now that we're in the rock park, let's go ahead and test out this tune. Now yes, it does look kind of weird the way the Ford is set up, but I guarantee it works amazing. So look at how everything already acts. Let's go ahead and try out the frame twister. Let's see how good this thing does at this. It just goes right up it. Right up everything. The only thing that sucks about it being this low is, like I was explaining earlier, your bumper is always going to be in the way because your tires don't hit first. So if I were you, I would either take your front bumper off or put one of those bumper guards, one of the plates, so that way you can slide on it. Only if I could see my camera angle. Okay, so that camera angle did kind of mess me up. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to respawn. I've never had to do that. Honestly, it would have probably been a better place to go to Woodlands for this, to show you sort of how the tune works. I mean, as you can see from right now, it does work pretty good, but it's not really showing much of what it's actually capable of doing. Now, unfortunately, I wouldn't use this Ford as a crawler. I'd use something else. But for the sake of the video, I went ahead and grabbed this Ford out to show that it is possible to turn anything into a rock crawler. See if I can at least get up it. There we go. I don't know what's wrong with it. Honestly, you should literally just go right up that. This explains why I never use Fords. They suck. No matter what I do to it, the Fords never work for me. The only vehicles in the game I've actually had really work for me would have to be the Duramax, honestly. I mean, I understand the Duramax is huge, but I've built the Duramax differently. And I mean, it seems to do better than most of these. Let's go ahead and see if I can get around here. See if I can get up and over this. It might be a little too long, or the wheels might be a little too big. Or my camera angle might just be in a horrible spot I can't see. That's one thing that they really need to fix about this, is they need to change up their camera angles and stuff. I wish they would make it to where you can use follow camera, but you can zoom out. You know, instead of having to be so close to the vehicle. I wish they still had follow camera where it would follow your vehicle and stuff, but you could zoom out as far as you wanted. That would be nice. The vehicle, especially a Ford like this, I'm not gonna have this little square body to be able to go up and over this, you know? You gotta have like the right tune for it. And see, for something like this, I believe it might need to be a little bit taller. I mean, I did make it up it, but still. It might need to be a little bit taller for that. And it also really depends on how you play, you know, like what's your playing style. Do you play smart about it? You know, like do you try to line up where your tires are gonna go and all that stuff? It's most of the time, you know, well, not most of the time. It's not always about your rig. There's two important roles in Offroad Outlaws and being able to get over stuff is one, how good your rig is, and two, how good you are. If you're an extremely experienced player, you can get over most likely almost anything. Especially if you're an experienced player and you have a good tuned vehicle. Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit of speed for this. So now, as y'all can tell, it's not wanting to go up all the way, and it ends up stopping. And whenever it starts to slow down, you can see the vehicle sort of raises in the air a little. And that's that physics thing I was explaining to y'all earlier. So basically, if this was lower to the ground than it already is, like one of my build videos I made a long time ago, it's called Goes Over Everything, or Anything. That thing was able to crawl right up this, but that's because it was so low to the ground, it was constantly getting traction, and it wasn't lifting into the air. Now it had unlimited travel, but I guess this thing is gonna slide right back down. It had unlimited travel, but since it was so low to the ground, and the way my dampening was set up, it was able to just, you know, go right up it with no problem. Unlike this. But still, this is making it up it, which is actually very surprising. No matter how much I love manual gear, it always has its little issues. I'll try and shift sometimes and it won't shift. So basically guys, what do you think about that tune? That's the gist of how to tune a vehicle for a rock crawler. My next video on the basic tunings will be, I like all that chrome. That's nice. I wish we had the chrome color. Anyways, besides that, instead of getting off topic, my next video will be basics tuning on how to tune for Baja and racing. But although those are two different things, you know, there's Baja and then there's drag racing. So other than that, if you did learn anything about how to tune your vehicle for rock crawling, please let me know down below that I did teach you something very useful. And besides all that, please be sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. And somehow my wheel just went underneath the... Okay, that makes no sense.